flipped a couple bands and began to thrive. Time to put the team on cause we going live. Put all your money to work when you realize too much money to be made between you and I. Welcome to the Trade Tribe. All right, welcome. This is the Trade Tribe Season 1, Episode 2. My name is Taufik Suleiman, the student investor. As by no means am I an expert, but every week I'm looking to learn and bring my tribe along. The Trade Tribe is a trading community and show and contribute to making the tribe wealthier. This show is our take on how we analyze the markets, what we think is going to happen, and how we make plays on that, as well as share our learnings along the journey. Between our trading group chat and our weekly recorded calls, we want to see every young adult part of our tribe thrive. So make sure to add us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at The Trade Tribe. We're going to start with the check-ins. Today we have myself, Hero, Tariq, and Billy Key. Feel free to say what's up and how your week has been and how's things going with you.
What up, party people? Where's the GOAT herself?
What's going on?
The GOAT. The legend.
How y'all feeling? How's y'all week been? How's y'all weekends been?
All is well over here. I just got a house full of damn kids.
They your damn kids.
Hey, you'll catch up.
Hey, it ain't a race. This ain't a race.
How about you, Tariq?
A long week. Oh, there you go, right there. Yeah, it's been a long week, man. Excited for the weekend.
Oh, the weekend is over. It's Sunday. How about you, Hero?
Oh man, it's Sunday. I was in surgery yesterday, so I was pretty much tied up talking with families and stuff. But for me, it's just another week trying to get people acclimated, shaming people not wearing their mask, just the basic Hero stuff.
Facts. I definitely feel all that. Same for me, long week. Finally feel like I'm getting the hang of my job, so now I can spend more time dedicated to this. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's see. All right, this week's meme of the week goes to myself again. It's basically a picture of a dad giving this kid his stimulus check and telling him he's using it for essentials, but he ends up just throwing it in the machine to buy calls and puts. This actually gives me PTSD because I put my entire stimulus check into the stock market. Of course, I used mine responsibly and made some profits off of it. But the point is, a lot of people just take their money and just put it into stuff they don't know. I found this very funny, and yeah, what do y'all think about that?
Yo, if this wasn't me with American Airlines in April 9th, man. Hey, I made a little bit of coin that day, but the drop off was something serious. Like I think I made a profit of 80% and lost 20 on some. Let me hold on. Let me see what happens. That's me. I am you and you are me, kid.
I'm changing your name to Billy on my phone.
It's true, man. I started in July and put every dollar to my name to try to flip it, man. I mean, it worked, but I definitely don't recommend that for just anybody.
This meme what you're seeing right here in this meme is a 2% chance. Like for the total population, only a few people could throw their whole check. Like imagine you at home sitting at the crib thinking to yourself, you know what? I might eat ramen noodles for the rest of my life, but I'm about to go all the way in. Like if that's your situation, don't do it. You hear me? Don't do it.
Go home.
Yeah, like take the calculated risk. That's what we're about.
Facts. And yeah, that's our meme of the week. Now for the lesson or term of the week. This week we'll be talking about indicators. The biggest questions that people ask is, how do I know when to get in or get out of a trade? A lot of people just follow the news or just follow the advice of their friends. But the honest answer is one of the great ways of knowing when to enter or exit a trade is to use indicators. And just to show you that all this information is available online, we're going to check Google. What is an indicator? What is a technical indicator? And one of the best places to check for information, knowledge, or information is Investopedia. So we're going to go with their definition. Basically, what they're saying is a technical indicator is basically a pattern-based signal produced by different aspects of a security or contract that traders use to follow what is going to happen in the markets and use it to predict the future of price movements. And basically that's pretty much things that you see on platforms like Think or Swim, as you can see over here. There we go. Basically, indicators are the pretty colorful things that you see on my screen that are not the candlesticks. A lot of platforms offer this as ways for traders to make better trading decisions. Some of the most common ones don't do it, like Robinhood, but some other platforms like Thinkorswim, Webull provide some indicators, and that's one of the reasons why I choose those over Robinhood. These help me to say it again.
TD Ameritrade also offers, and Charles Schwab, they offer really good analysis tools.
Yep, and those come in really handy to help decide on when is the best time to enter or exit trades. Some of the most common ones being RSI indicators, MACD indicators, and Bollinger Bands. The biggest thing to note is that these are all based off prior stock price information, such as previous prices, volume, and things like that, and they help you give an indication of what could happen in the future. A lot of the expert traders that I've followed or seen or talked to do use indicators to help them with their decisions. So for new beginning traders, indicators are a great place to start. I personally utilize a couple of the basic ones, such as moving averages. Basically, a moving average is an average that changes over time of a period of time of the stock price. So basically, if the stock price at 100, the average at the time of the past 10 days might be 95. So the stock price is above that, such as in this example of Apple. But with the moving average, the reason why it's called moving, because every day or every second, every time period, the average is changing as you're moving the time period forward along with the stock price and the current time frame. These are useful because they give you an indication of how a stock is performing over the past few days and can indicate to it. Simple ways of looking at the moving average is basically to say, okay, if a price is above its moving average, that means it could be trending upwards or is over doing better than its past few days. Or if it's below, it might be trending downwards. But these are great indicators to determine if it's a bullish or bearish movement. The next one being Bollinger Bands. As you can see on my screen, you'll see these two different lines here that kind of create a band around the stock price. And this pretty much is an extension of the moving average. Basically what it does is it tells you what is the ideal range of where the stock price will go as a standard deviation from the average at the current time.
Can you adjust that standard deviation?
Gotcha. Give me a second. Let me do this. And basically what you'll notice is that typically the stock price does not move outside of the two band width. So this is a great way to tell you where or what is the furthest that a stock can move in correlation to its current price as well as the average. I like to use this because it tells me where is the point to exit, such as this high, and when to get in, such as one of these lows. And the next one that I use is the RSI, which stands for the Relative Standard Index. And basically what this does, this tells you based off of, it pretty much tells you it pretty much tells you the change in the price compared to previous highs and lows. So basically, if you buy into a stock, what it's telling you, which is the RSI is this indicator right here, it's telling you at what point is this oversold or overbought? Like, are people buying this way too much, or are they buying it way too little? And basically what you do is at these two levels, the 70 level and the 30 level, 30 being oversold or oversold, then the 70 level being overbought. This picture tells you, okay, this might be a point that the stock might reverse and change direction. As you can see here, once the stock broke above the 70 line, it started to crash, meaning that it was oversold, it was overbought. Then as it was selling off, it hit a low point around this level, which is the 30 level, and was looking to start increasing and reverse slightly. It didn't hold true to the end, but basically in the moment, it was telling you that the stock was oversold and that this might be a good point to enter. And those are just some of the indicators that I use. Other ones being the MACD, another one being stochastic, but a lot of those can be looked into and be fitted mostly to your trading style. Yeah, that's pretty much a crash course on indicators. Any questions or anything to add to those?
No, I think that was pretty good. I would say I would like to see in the future, like you setting up your indicators or setting up your bandwidths. I think that'd be a pretty cool learning experience.
Definitely, and those are very easily found on YouTube. It will take a little bit of time to mess around and move these indicators to your liking, but those are all easily available on YouTube. But there will be future content, I guess, future stuff for us to talk about specific indicators and how we set those up. But that's a great idea and dope. All right, next topic will be our week in review. This week was another crazy week. Basically, the stock market was down again for another week straight. Basically, if you look at this S&P 500, which tracks the overall performance of the 500 best stocks in the stock market, you will see that since September 2nd, 3rd-ish, the stock market has been dropping due to a huge sell-off. A lot of people are optimistic about the stock market rising and recovering from its earlier crash in March after following COVID news. But this past few weeks, especially last week, there's been a lot of sellouts from major tech companies and other stocks due to loss of faith in the stock market as well as excessive valuations from tech companies. With a lot of major tech companies like Apple, Microsoft, the typical FANG stocks making up a huge percentage of the S&P 500. When those stocks drop, that pulls down the whole market average a lot, or to some extent, a fair amount. So basically, that's what pretty much happened through last week. It was crazy because a lot of my stop losses triggered for a lot of stocks that I was in, and that forced me mostly into a cash position. And yeah, on to add to that is varying news such as the Supreme Court justice passing away, unfortunately, and that causing a lot of people to think that, okay, in the future, it might take a lot more time for the stimulus package come again to hit again or to be renewed for further relief for a lot of these companies. So that brought a lot of worries as well as lack of faith due to a second wave of coronavirus cases popping up in Europe. So a lot of Europe stocks did take a decline and so on. Besides that, anything else that y'all noticed in this past week?
It's the time to buy. Shopping season is upon us.
Yep, and that is a great point.
Last few months, we've all, I'm pretty sure Warren Buffett first said this back in June or July that this was going to happen. And the worst of it is going to come around election. It's going to be like a catalyst for something. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people have just been thinking like, oh, this is the next company that's going to make the vaccine, or this is the next tech company that's going to blow up and be the next Amazon, stuff like that.
Yep.
They really do their research on what exactly they're putting their money in. So they're just throwing money at a company that they don't know who's running it. They don't know any principles behind it. They don't even know what it actually is doing when they're giving their money to it. Then it blows up in their face and they're not ready for it. So that's why we see this huge pullback. Nikola is a great example. I mean,
yep.
I don't know about y'all, but for the past few weeks, I was hearing everything about Nikola. It's like, this is the thing. Get into this. They're doing new EV vehicles, next Tesla, all this stuff. Then all of a sudden they're in the news about the fraud and all that, and everybody pulled out. Just one example of people getting into this market and not truly knowing where they're putting them.
There's something to be said about tested and proven. As a person who works in the healthcare industry, I have no money in vaccines right now, and there's a reason for it, because I work in the industry, and I know that no vaccine that comes out this year or 3 months into next year is going to be worth its weight in gold. So it's about understanding your industry, one, and if you're not familiar with, like, for example, I'm not familiar with Nikolai and battery technology, but I know that there is a juggernaut in that realm called Tesla, and one look at their book and their R&D development will tell you who's better at this. And I feel like so many people get lost in the sauce of headlines. And you gotta, for you to get to any story these days, you gotta read 3 paragraphs in, and that's where the truth of the story is. And no one's reading 3 paragraphs into any article, so they lose.
And those are both great points. And for us context, those that don't know, Nikola is basically how do I describe it? Is a electric vehicle company that's been making headlines for the past couple of weeks to months. They were talking about creating an electric vehicle truck, or was it hydrogen powered? And that caused them to spike and ride the EV news, but with a lot of stuff such as gaps in their credibility and things like that being questioned, their stock has pretty much plummeted from its high of $97 down to about a low of 16, with other legal allegations being poised to just pretty much bring the stock down to zero at some point. But the main point is, yes, last week, one of the great things that happened was a huge market, well, past 2 weeks was a huge market tech sell-off. And I just lost my train of thought.
Huge market sell-offs?
Yes. A lot of people thinking that it's reminiscent to the tech bubble that happened in the 1999 to 2000s.
That's such an overkill. That's such overkill.
Basically, a lot of people thinking that is what happened. So that's why it was a lot of sell-off last week as well. But more accredited investors think that although it may be similar, there's different situations and criteria that shows that it's not the same. But that just shows you that the same thing could happen from past. So it's good to look in the past to see, okay, what has happened in the past, what are people doing, and use that to make better trades. But those are 2 great points from Tarek and Hero. Anything else for a weekend review?
There was one thing that I was kind of interested to get people's perspective on, but it also ties into my my pick of the week, so I'll talk about it then. But just with Florida reopening completely, the side effects of that.
Got it. And we'll talk more about that. Moving on to week ahead. This week ahead, typical things. Well, not typical week ahead. A lot of things that are coming out are the consumer confidence review or report on Tuesday and Friday. The U.S. unemployment rate being dropped for September on Friday. Then also the U.S. Presidential debate taking place the first of it taking place on Wednesday. There are a couple
Tuesday.
Oh, I thought it was on Wednesday. Thanks for that. Taking place on Tuesday. Another thing is another IPO coming out is Palantir Technologies, as a major tech company going out live on the NYSE, or listed on NYSE on Wednesday. And yeah. Anything else to look ahead of this week?
We will be live streaming the debates, all 4 debates, on the Identity Booth, Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live. Anywhere there's a live stream, you can find us.
Dope. And that's pretty much the week ahead. Now we're going to dive deeper into what are the things that we are looking at as potential trade ideas, potential plays going into the week and ahead. As a quick overview, I am looking at a couple different stocks this week due to unusual options activity I've been looking at, such as Apple, Tesla, Boeing, American Airlines, this cruise line, I can't remember what the C stands for, AMD, a chip device, Genius, and NIO. These are stocks that came up as I'm more of a technical trader. I'm looking more so at technical stuff like volume, trades being placed, and what the charts kind of look like. So those are some stocks I'm looking at and might make potential plays this week. Another one is Blink, with the news that Cali will be banning sales of gas-powered vehicles. That is interesting because I did see that earlier this week that that might affect a lot of different plays. Also, Oak Street Health has a partnership with Walmart in upcoming Walmart health release. Graph Industrial with the merger with Velodyne, which is a 3D vision technology for AV vehicles. And basically the camera and video assistant in vehicles. So we're going to let everyone talk about each of their picks and plays. Also Hero with looking at Starbucks and Billy, another 2 other stock stuff. So we're going to go through that in order. starting with Tariq, and just have general discussion about these plays.
Yeah, so just to preface, I didn't know that what I was throwing in there was going to be on this, discussion for today. But I actually have some much better picks. Those are just some picks that I threw up there. I've been in Graph for a minute now, and they have been killing the game. I love everything about them. The guy who's running, the CEO who's running it, what their plan for it. Yeah, I really like Graph. Oak Street Health came across my board. I'm all for Walmart. The more, actually, I won't even say that. But yeah, I'm all for Oak Street Health. But my biggest thing this week is definitely FMCI. That has been my champion since I got into this thing. They had a vote for their merger. Merger finally went through. They're extending the date. Yeah, I'm 100% believe that this price is gonna go straight back up to 30 plus. Like, started at 15 when I got into it, went up to 28, dropped back down to 22 these past couple of days just because of the whole voting fiasco. But then it finally went through. So yeah, looking for big things from FMCI. They're gonna, in case you guys didn't know, they're gonna be merging with Tattoo Chef, plant-based meat company. Basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did hear about this.
Highly recommended.
What was the symbol for that first one? The Walmart?
Oak Street Health, OSH, and it's almost like the McDonald's for healthcare practices. They have a whole bunch of different. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of when you go to
Nutrition?
the doctor, regular doctors. What did you say?
Nutritionist?
No, not a nutrition.
Primary care physician?
Primary care physicians. They just own a whole bunch of it. That's what they do. They crank them out like how you see Starbucks on every single corner. I just really like what they do. Then they're partnering with Walmart. Can't go wrong. I don't know if Walmart's gonna be here forever, but they're definitely gonna be here for a long time throughout our lifetime.
Are people still gonna eat food?
He said, "Wait, what?
Are people gonna still need food?"
Man, eventually they're just gonna
Tell me another place where you can go get an oil change, 2 weeks worth of groceries, all your drugs, and your nails and eyes checked in one visit.
Yeah, you right. That's why I love Walmart, man.
It's not like a magical place. That's not like
it's Disney. Like it's fucking Disneyland for adults.
I have when I started stocks, I have this one rule that I go by. I normally don't tell people this, but I just tell you guys. The more evil and the more white a company is, the more money I get, man. And the wealthiest making me money, man. Like,
what I tell you, Taufik, the crumbs of the rich will put us in a whole new tax bracket. So you better not,
basically,
better not sleep on that. Hey, I haven't had McDonald's in 13 years, but you best believe I'm getting dividends from them every 3 months.
Hey, and they're about to up their McDonald's. They're about to up all of their things in Russia. They about to start expanding and everything. McDonald's is definitely a move.
Interesting. That actually might be an interesting play.
It's part of my.
Might not, because I've been hearing about I guess Russia wouldn't. I guess, but there's been with the spikes in COVID cases, would that not affect the expansion plans?
I mean, expansion is one thing, and curbside pickup is another. It's amazing. In 3 months, we've revolutionized the way we take takeout. The Pizza Hut is literally telling you to pop your trunk, and they put the pizza in the back.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think COVID is for as far as restaurants are concerned. If the restaurant is failing right now, it's because they refuse to innovate.
Yep.
Because I get my sushi every Friday now, and I just get it, and all I got is just one extra step. When I get out the car, I just got to go open up my trunk. I got myself a little crate in there now. I got a little crate so it doesn't shake around. I say, put it in the crate, damn it. I can see it through the camera.
Yeah, it's crazy how quick a lot of these restaurants were able to quickly pivot and still keep making money through everything going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. COVID. what it's doing is it's just changing just our culture. Where people thinking like, yeah, COVID's gonna break down society, man. We not going anywhere. Of course, it's horrible what's happening, but all it basically is changing our culture in that we no longer have to go out to do something. We can start building enterprises from the
It's a generational like cleanse for me, and I take it very personal because I'm a person who works in healthcare, and up until March, I couldn't believe that I had to drive into work 3 times a week. Now I only come to work when I have to work, and the innovation of it that shows up. All these buildings sitting on the corners of streets that haven't been used because of COVID, it begs the question, is there something wrong with our society that has this fulfilling nation or notion that people have to sit down in office? Taufik's working from home. I work from home when I can. Like, I do the surgery in person, but I do all my paperwork and do my Zoom calls with the families at home. They don't let me talk to the family in person no more. So, like, I look at a lot of these innovations and think to myself, after COVID's done, I don't want to leave this situation. I'm fine with the way things are now because of how people have had to innovate. Obviously, scratching the 200,000 plus people that are dead, I wouldn't want those people to be here. But man, it's amazing to see what happens when you stress the system just a little bit.
And it's definitely needed.
Yeah.
But listen, you about to say something?
No, go.
I bet. Moving on. Or did you cover all your aspects, Tarek? Your picks?
Yeah.
Okay, dope. My picks. So looking back looking back last week, a lot of the reason why I chose these stocks and moving into this week was based on the stocks that I was looking at last week, such as Adobe, P-Town, Roku, and Work. All of them kind of doing well with the exception of Adobe. I did make some money off of those. We did make these call outs last week off Peloton, the fitness stock. I made about 100% profit off an options call on them. And with Roku, I made a quick 40% scalp trade off that, made 40%. I did lose on my Adobe trade due to them dropping despite earnings pick, which is another thing I noticed, which is that a lot of stocks earnings call are timed into the markets in advance of what happens the day that they release their earnings report. So if you are looking to make plays off earnings report, do be careful with that and try to plan ahead of time for that. But yeah, some of the picks that we chose last week did very well. You'll see that Roku spiked literally the day after we had our last call, going from 160 up to 185. So if you did a call on that, you'd be making hella bank. But yeah, so stocks that I'm looking at what I'm doing this week is changing my strategy. Since a lot of my stop losses triggered last week, pretty much I've been forced to a cash position, and I'm looking to start making shorter swing plays on the options. So I've been looking at this website called Bar Chart, and there's a section that tells you and alerts you of different unusual stock options activity. What I do is I filter by volume, and basically some of the ones that stood out to me were the ones I listed here. Where did I see that again? Some of them being Apple, Tesla, Boeing, American Airlines, CCL, AMD, Genius, all of that. And this is very interesting because with Apple and Tesla, two of them are pretty much the two most optimistic tech stocks you can think of. So people that are making plays on that, people that are looking at tech stocks will probably be looking at those two stocks. And when I was looking at the list, it was interesting because I think it was this one. There was a huge order placed for $115 strike price call on Apple. And just around that same time, I think it's around the same time, Apple kind of spiked up towards the last few hours of the day on Friday. So that might be something interesting to keep track of. So with things going forward, I think a lot of these plays that are being made might be indicating that these stocks might be rebounding. So I'm going to watch those throughout the week to confirm if this was bearish or bullish play. Again, same thing happened over here with, let's see, where was it? Tesla. A lot of calls were being closed on Friday, so that was interesting seeing that. Another spike towards the end of the day. on the last day of Friday. So this next week, I think Apple or Tesla will spike up on Monday. So whoever placed those trades might be making a lot of money off of those. Other ones I did see were Boeing. No, not this one. It was this one. Boeing here, there was an unusual options trade for a strike price of $160 also on Friday. And again, that same thing. On Friday, there was a huge spike. Well, not really a huge spike, but the stock pretty much spiked up from its low of 144 all the way up to 155. So I might be looking at these as potential plays this week to see what happens. Even in the aftermarkets, it's still trending upwards. So on Monday, I actually might make some small plays on these stocks. I won't go into all of them just due to the sake of time, and see what happens during the week. And we'll see again next week how those go. But basically, those ones, I'm going to be looking more into why these stocks were the ones that are being played, and try to figure out who are the people that made those plays behind those. Genius is an interesting one because they had spiked up a lot earlier this year and dropped back down. So there is some interesting play there. And yeah, those are my stock picks, or the ones that I'll be paying attention to this week. And next, we got Blink with news that California will be banning sales of gas-powered vehicles. I did see something about California mentioning that. I'm not sure if it was true because they were right after that first news report came out. There was another report that kind of discredited that.
Yeah, it's another one of those headline heavy commentary, because aesthetically speaking, what you're saying is you're going to ban the sale of something. Are you implying that you can't own that substance? Like, what is the penalty for owning that substance? Furthermore, you're also implying that every single one of the cities, counties, districts, communities, village will all be converted over to a power grid that can handle it. California is notorious for rolling blackouts because of weak power infrastructure grids. So if there's no gas-powered systems, are you telling me that every bus, every police car, every hospital, ambulance, fire truck is going to be decked out with electricity? I mean, it's big if true, but it's going to take more than 10 years to do.
Yep. And I think they're putting out this information mainly just to give people a forewarning. But this the crazy part again is how you said is like the headlines can be very misleading, because as soon as this headline came out, a couple of minutes later, another headline came out saying that owning gasoline cars will still be allowed. So it's kind of confusing with that. So that is something to just keep in mind of. But Beliki's not able to respond right now, but she did message her response in the chat. She says that she came across Blink as the leading company for EV charging stations. Still looking into a full analysis, but picked a couple shares anyway. She believes that the future of tech and electric vehicles is strong. Stock started to soar, then went down after Tesla disappointing news after Battery Day. That Battery Day was very disappointing to me, man. And
also the fact that it was underlined by that whole lawsuit thing that they're trying to sue. They're suing the president, the administration. I've never seen Elon Musk become Democratic so quickly.
He did make a tweet saying he doesn't really align with certain things, but he kind of chooses things based on what matters, really. So if you are listening to him in one moment, just best believe he can switch up on you at any point.
If you're ever wondering what Elon Musk is a representation of, he's just a white version of Kanye West. That's
white Kanye, exactly.
He's white Kanye.
Nah, it was funny because I saw a meme on Twitter saying that he wasn't like this superhero or Iron Man. He was more so the dude from Incredibles, the villain.
Syndrome. That's a great comparison. That's hilarious.
I gotta say for Elon, his ideas, man, they truly are like they're transcending. They're not super unique. It's ideas that we all have, but it's like what Thanos said. He has the will to actually act upon it.
No. He has the capital to act on it. Because if you're telling, no, because he's an idiot. Like, don't get it twisted. This guy's an idiot, but he has the money to do it. And as an idiot paying a bunch of people, you think as scientists you're gonna tell him no? No, keep funding my research, bro. But like he wants to be this person who has the answer and does things, but doesn't really understand like what the rationale behind it is. Because remember, his big thing was, I want to burrow a bunch of holes in a place where earthquakes take place so that me personally, don't have to sit in
True.
You said the Kanye comparison. I think that's the best thing. But I got to say this. If Kanye West IPO, you would buy that stock. Because if you got a body,
the success with Yeezys, of course I'm supporting that stock.
Bro, the success of just Kanye, if we look at him since back when, just look at graduation days and where he is now, his stock has grown exponentially. No matter what he says, even all the crazy stuff he's been saying, and you was like Kanye, why would you say that on camera? Like, you said that
absolutely.
But I think still invest in Kanye.
No, absolutely. But it's all about timing with this, because if we want to be frank, we can actually see a regulation in Kanye's actions and how Kanye's words affect stock markets. For example, when he became an ambassador for Gap, Gap has seen a significant growth, but now that he's wanting to go back to the drawing board with them, it begs the question, is this a stunt? Or is this him really trying to renegotiate his contract? And why take such a public route? Like, it begs the question, if you really wanted to invest smart, sure, Kanye would be a great bet. But if you told me the next day you would feel confident waking up that all your stock would still be there, I'd laugh at you, because you're taking that risk.
Right.
I'd much rather have Tim Cook, who says absolutely nothing, and before Donald Trump said his name was Tim Apple, I didn't know his name was Tim Cook. I'd much rather have that boring white man as the leader of my company than have the volatility that is Kanye West.
That is facts. That is facts.
And all great points.
I'm still putting my chips in Kanye, though.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. If I got 2 chips, I'm giving you 1 to put in for me too. That's the facts.
Man, I wish Kanye could IPO. I wish you could IPO. I definitely.
Hey, you might just be speaking into existence. He might be working on that right now.
He might be watching this.
Right. But y'all do make great points about Elon Musk, about Kanye West, and just like the state of their business, especially with Battery Day. Battery Day was very upsetting for a lot of people in Tesla, because they thought it was a little bit underwhelming for the present, but was very futuristic, giving hope, I guess, to the future of tech, battery technology, as well as electric vehicles. A lot of what's called investment firms and institutions still kept their ratings, and if anything, increased them due to the long-term gains from the battery that they're working on right now, which is having issues with being scaled or produced enough for them to meet their demands. But will still be produced nonetheless. That will cause, I guess, a future where, I guess, a lot of people still think that there's good that could be gained from stocks like Tesla, EV companies. So Battery Day did, for the short term, cause these stocks to drop, but in the future it might prove to be beneficial in the long run. Just like with Blink, as Billy said, this company has grown a little bit over 200% in the past year alone. And it looks like they might be back now. They're now back above pre-IPO levels and have a lot more room to grow. So those would be great stocks to watch, such as Tesla, Blink, and anything regarding electric vehicles and batteries. And yeah, anything to add to those?
Yeah, I do want to add for Tesla. People who are getting it now, I don't normally recommend this for any other company, but when you get into Tesla, you're not necessarily getting into it for their products and what they can produce. You're getting into it to ride the hype wave. You can ride that hype wave, get your cash, get out.
Yeah.
I know Elon loves making fun of people who short Tesla, but I mean, like, that's the best way to get money off of it. You literally just ride the hype off of it. I truly believe if they accomplish, I want them to accomplish everything that they say, because I think it would lead to an incredible world that we live in. But yeah, no, the point of Tesla is riding that hype wave, riding that hype train until you can get your cash.
Definitely. That's something like really great advice. Um, and yeah, so anything else as well with Blink? Anything else with Tesla as well? I bet. Moving on. Perfect. All right, moving on. The last member's pick comes from Hero. He mentioned his stock watch is Starbucks and Billy.
So, with the Starbucks, I'm sort of moving back into, as I talked about, the innovation crowd, the crowd of people who have figured out how to sell their product and keep it business as usual. I think Starbucks is really benefiting from not having these contactless checkout lanes and these drive curbside pickups, because Starbucks is notorious for having a lot of issues as far as social awareness, whether it be they're firing one of their employees for having a Black Lives Matter mask on, or, having two guys arrested in their store for, doing what their store was designed to do, lounge around. Their store is really made for adult cats. And when you remove that element of people not being able to lounge around, anyone who shows up to Starbucks, is buying something. So it kind of alleviates that crowd. And therein lies like sort of the benefit. So what I've noticed is in the last week to 2 weeks, Starbucks, as stocks have grown, and it's come in as states have started to figure out how to open up accordingly. So it begs the question, how many other restaurants have figured this out? Well, obviously, another close comparisons would be McDonald's. So I got into both of them at the same time. So I think when I first started out way in the beginning, like early July, I was living off of Starbucks. That's where I was making my $200 a week every week with a call. And back when I started doing those trade-ins, it was right around $84, $86. So now that this market is back into this range, if I can next week, using my bands, try and figure out where things like land and put, I think I'm going to start with a few options to kind of warm myself back up into this before I go back into the $600, $400 range that you big dogs are up at. And then Billy is mostly because now that Sony has to kind of come up with a response to the storage situation on the PlayStation 5 Mini, which doesn't have a lot of storage. One game can fill up the whole entire console. So Billy, who's also in charge of their storage cloud, is going to have to come up with a response, because paying $200 for storage when the system only costs $300, well, now it's $500 and you're backed up to a PlayStation 5. You should have just got a PlayStation 5.
Wait, you're talking about Billy
Billi, I believe.
LLI. What is it? Stock ticker symbol?
It should be Billi.
LI. Okay, Billy. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So now that they have to come up with this response, they're definitely being put in a position where if they figure this out and can keep this new storage, like if you get a PlayStation 5 with all the cool graphics and a 4 terabyte setup for under $100 or $150 or some type of membership, which is what they want to do, you can do like 4 installments from your PlayStation Now network subscription. Then they got my attention. They really got my attention. But I think I'm prepared to start, like, in the last year, 6 months, Billy and Starbucks and these companies that have innovated have figured it out, and I'm going to start riding the wave.
Facts, and that's a good point.
Yeah, this Billy actually sounds really good. I haven't heard.
Oh, Billy is literally, when I lost my 500 in the March, Billy pulled me out of the water. It pulled me out of the water. I had a call with a strike price of $70. It was sitting at 59. I was like, it's never gonna hit. I went to sleep and woke up. Sony bought them, and that was the end for me. And if ever since then, I ain't looked back.
This upcoming, video game season that's happening with the PlayStation and Xbox, people are always like, "Oh yeah, PlayStation." Like, no, Xbox. My thing is getting both, because they gonna sell no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's I'm every time I say, "Oh, PlayStation is better," and some As long as somebody from Xbox says no, my system's better, then I know the stock is worth something. And they just bought Bethesda, so
Right, that's insane. So
and they're thinking about buying Sega and Capcom
yes, yes.
boy, and that's an automatic partnership because Sonic and Nintendo have a long history. Microsoft as well, and the secret is Microsoft is already built in backwards has built-in functionality to cross-platform with the Switch, which is crazy. But the Switch, but PlayStation refuses to have any cross-platform. So it's almost as if Sony's just taking their ball and playing by themselves. And the problem is, what happens when everybody is playing with everybody, and PlayStation wants to play with them? Me as a user, I'm gonna go over because it doesn't matter to me. The controller doesn't matter to me. And graphics have gotten to the point 120 FPS. Like your eyes can't see past 80. No one cares anymore about the graphics.
No, you make a great point, and I think both of you guys make a great point. One, I'm betting on these gaming companies, especially with the new releases coming out on the consoles. But you also made a great point about with Microsoft and how they're making a lot better investments in terms of cross-play, different platforms. Like, have y'all heard about xCloud? Like xCloud, what they're trying to do?
xCloud is amazing. xCloud is what PlayStation Now wishes it could be. Because
Really?
There's a game I played. It was called Split Second on PlayStation 2. And I downloaded PlayStation Now. I just so I could play this game again. I got 97% on it. I feel like it was one of those things where I was too young to beat the game. It was too hard for me because my brain couldn't compute it. But now I'm older, I'm an adult. I want to debo that game. I bought it and the internet and the interface was so trash. I called Sony. I was like, no. I want a refund. I don't want no credit. I want my money back. This is the biggest disappointment of my life. Pay me.
But best believe I got stock in both Sony and in Microsoft, partially because of their Xbox console as well as the xCloud platform. But I wish I could tell you guys more information. I work at Microsoft, so I kind of see the stuff that they're working on with xCloud and things like that. So that will be insider trading information, so I cannot tell all those things. But
wait, I got a question.
Microsoft's going to go crazy in the future with their gaming platform and division.
I got a question since you do work at Microsoft. I don't know if you're able to tell this. I heard that they're doing a subscription package. So basically, you can subscribe to Microsoft, and they'll send you the Xbox with xCloud services, with Xstream, with all that, and you just pay a monthly subscription. Is that valid?
I can confirm I can confirm that from Kotaku and like all of those. There's a preliminary gesture for that, but it has to be with people who already have a subscription.
Yeah. And I don't know the exact details for that, so I really could not give you inside information on that. But I do believe, my personal guess is, I think it will head to that because a lot of companies are doing moving towards an all-in-one subscription model. Like, have you seen? I think Apple is doing something called Apple One, and like they're packaging pretty much every service they provide into one $30 subscription. So I'm pretty sure Microsoft's gonna have their own, Apple's gonna have their own. All these platforms, any platform or major company is probably gonna have their own version of that. Subscription service is the trend of 2020. Like
it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed again making money. Amazon figured it out. Everyone's been trying to perfect it ever since. Amazon Prime is something I've been meaning to cancel, and then every month, damn batteries. Oh, my damn spatula broke. Oh, damn. Forgot ketchup at the store. It's just crazy how like I just can't delete that app.
Hey, Hero, you also, I want to go back to the point you made about, Microsoft partnering with Capcom, and like you said, they're trying to play with everybody, and Sony is really just
Sony benefits from Sony benefits from having this. They're the first people to do it, so they kind of benefit from it. Like they did it with big time characters. Spider-Man, Miles Morales. That's the only reason why I'm getting the PlayStation 5. I don't care about God of War. I don't care about the next first.
Whoa. That's a classic, though.
Hey.
Classic.
I did, and once again, this is why I can continue to buy stocks because people get their feelings hurt. I'm not saying the games are bad. I'm just saying I don't care about them. Miles Morales was the only thing I wanted it for.
Yeah, that's
So, like,
insane.
with that being said, it makes it easier for me to just be able to look and see. But now, what you're running into this is going to be the problem. I have a Switch, so the decision for me every year is okay. I'm getting a Nintendo console, and then I have to choose between PlayStation and Xbox. The year one of my friends gets an Xbox is gonna be that's who I play with. That's gonna be the year I change over. But this is the striking part. I'm playing my Switch against people on their Xbox in different games. So there's already a compatibility issue there for me. Like that's the problem that's gonna end up happening. Sony. The day Sony has a game that other consoles have that I can't cross play with them, then I'm gonna have to leave Sony behind.
That's 100% what's happening right now.
really
So I
is.
have a PlayStation, and for the longest I was like, yeah, PlayStation. Just because when it comes to video games, I don't care about graphics. I don't care about I don't care about none of that. I just care about what games do you have that are fun. That's why I buy video games. But recently, all this cross compatibility, Sony is coming out saying that they don't want people to be able to play cross-platform games. Oh,
That's not
Microsoft is all for it. Microsoft is like, oh yeah, cross-platform, yeah, sure, we'll do something. You can go with Sony, and I think that's my only reason why I can't get into Sony is because I truly don't support their company. I love what Microsoft is doing. They're doing things for the gamer. They truly are like, well, they want to do this, let's give it to them. Oh, they want to do this, let's give it to them. Oh, we can do this that'll make the experience better. And all Sony cares about is that everyone has a PlayStation.
You make a great point. Like you can change your name on the Xbox like every 2 weeks. Sony for the first time ever just allowed you to change it, and guess what? You can only change it once every 6 months. Yeah, it's like, and you're right. It's like Sony, and you want to know what Sony's kind of missing? And these changes didn't start happening until they got an American ambassador, like someone stateside to speak for them on their behalf, because they're a company of the East, so they don't have to adhere to the East. Xbox doesn't sell in the East like it does in the West. So it's sort of like a form of betrayal if you're thinking from a country aspect, but it still doesn't deny the fact that they buy companies that for good games. And Sony did what they were supposed to. Make good games first, make your console convenient second. Because back when Xbox was thinking about having it's just something they assumed. Xbox, if everyone's playing Madden, everyone wants to have the NFL Live package part of their subscription. No, you idiot. Just make a good game.
Right.
And these are all great points. And we'll definitely continue this debate between Sony and Microsoft. I'm obligated to promote Xbox just due to that being my employer.
I don't even think it's a debate.
I guess before I wrap up, y'all do make a great point. You made a really great point in terms of the things that Xbox is doing. Like, I feel like a lot of people haven't learned from Fortnite. With Fortnite, one, there's crossplay. You can play Fortnite with your friends across any platform in the same game session. But they have not learned that. That's what gamers want. That's why Fortnite, one of the reasons why Fortnite blew up, is a fun game. You can play with anyone without any limitations. And it's just changing the game for the game industry. So I feel like a lot of companies should look at Fortnite as an example. And if you are limiting those players from doing stuff like that, like you're gonna learn your lesson. Like with Apple trying to limit, or I think Apple trying to restrict Epic Games and prevent them. I can't remember all the details about their legal battle right now.
They were basically trying to get a check from Epic.
I mean, yeah,
they wanted more money from them, and Epic Games was like,
Epic Game, that 30%, that they have to have a graduated fund rate for when you're Epic Games and you're making $30 billion off of iPhone, and then they're taking 28% of that every year. That's not like, you have to graduate that for them. That needs to be down to 13%, 10%, because they're making you a bulk of your money. Like, I get it, it's still your product, but you break bread with the people making you bread. So like, I feel like Apple is just being selfish at this point.
Basically.
Eventually, I think in the future we're saying a huge, just strictly talking about the video game industry. Before, when we were younger, back with PlayStation 1, even before that, Nintendo, 64, what it was is the three big companies, the Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, they were the ones developing a game. They will go out and like pay video game developers to make the game. Now we're going to transition into a period where video game developers are creating their games by themselves, if that makes sense. It's taking the power away from the actual console and putting the power back into the actual game itself. I guess the best way to equate this would be if you guys watch basketball. It's taking the power away from the general managers and the owners and putting power back into the actual athletes themselves, the ones who play the game. That's the point. And I think we're going to be seeing that in the future.
Definitely. And I think the sports industry is a whole other beast on its own too. But those are all like great points about the gaming industry, about a lot of these gaming companies and tech stocks that we're looking at. And basically that's our members picks for the weeks. Just as a quick recap, the members plays being Oak Street, Graph, couple tech stocks and airline stock, I guess travel stocks such as Apple, Tesla, Boeing, American Airlines, cruise lines, and so on. Blink and Tesla for their EV charging and EV battery related news. And lastly, Starbucks and Billy. Those are our stocks that we'll be looking at this week and potentially making money off of. So check back next week or throughout the week about how we do with those. And yeah, so we're going to quickly do a quick checkout for those on the call and do a quick outro. Appreciate everyone being on the call. We got Hero, Tariq, and Biliki. Y'all can feel free to drop anything or say anything as a checkout.
Sound Group.
Say that again?
No, continue. Plug and Hill Sound Group. Listen to us. Buy beats off BeatStars. Twan Don.
Hey, put it in the chat, man. That's how it be. The Identity Booth will be hosting the first presidential debates, 1 through 4, actually. We'll be live streaming them on Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook Live. We did super well with the RNC debates. We broke the 1,000 view record for that, so that's an awesome uplift for our live stream. Come join up, come talk to us, come hear the debates. If politics, I'm not, get out your feelings, come figure out what you're supposed to be doing with your life, register to vote, wear your goddamn mask.
Biliki?
Hey. I don't have nothing else to add. Good discussion. I had to listen. Baby was cranky.
Yeah, she wanted to buy some stocks. She couldn't buy none.
You didn't give her no options play money.
You didn't give her no option play.
No options. I'll put some money in her account though.
And again, my name is Taufik, the student investor. This is the Trade Tribe Season 1, Episode 2. We again are a trading group chat, and we have weekly recorded calls to help us grow our wealth as a tribe. Make sure to add us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at the Trade Tribe. And good luck this week into the trading week. Thank you.
Take it easy.